Hello and welcome to another update video about Kadena. It's been a while that we've covered Kadena, and with Kadena you have now the second crypto that has been that is now listed on Binance, that I cover on this channel, that basically that I talked about before the listing, that has now been listed. The other one was Alchemy Pay, that's now also listed on Binance, and that's fantastic because it's always good to be aware of cryptos that are solid projects, before they are listed on Binance. This gives usually these cryptos a little bit of an additional, reputation boost, or at least more interest. However, what we've observed and what I have observed generally across the board, not only also cryptos that I don't cover on this channel, that typically in this sort of downtrend, sideways movement at the moment where volume is generally low, interest is generally not where it should be or where it used to be, or where it typically is in a bull run, that this sort of Binance effect is not really long lasting. I mean, today you can see it here on the chart, actually 15% upside. That is good, but it's not like it used to be where you get some, from some of them 100% upside. In a bull run, that would be much different, but that doesn't mean it couldn't still come, because as soon as we get back here into a bull run for crypto, it could mean that these cryptos which have been listed on Binance now, that weren't there before, that they get a specific or special boost. You never know, but definitely it makes it more accessible for many people, and that is fantastic. So yeah, great. Kadena has been the second crypto after Alchemy Pay that has been listed on Binance after we started to cover it on this channel. That's fantastic. And where are we with Kadena? So Kadena, in terms of the elite waves as well, it has obviously done its first major wave 1 here back in November. Since then, in this ABC correction, you're probably looking here at a more complex correction, maybe a so-called WXY pattern, but maybe it could also be that wave C here is already over. Yeah, we talked about that potential when we did hit that target area. That is again the area where, with the highest likelihood, cryptocurrencies in the current wave count are turning around to the upside. We've been talking about that when I told you that we reached the target here and we were at 455, or a little bit higher, no, 455. Since then we have already gained a very interesting 80 to 85% within 1.5 months. That is not bad. It's also not super good, but it's also not bad, especially given the current environment, and compared to what you can get with many stocks and shares. That is very, very interesting. And looking at where Kadena was, I mean, with $28, $28.50, and where we could be going, I think this is still, from my point of view, and there is no financial advice, but from my point of view, a very interesting price. So we did reach obviously that target area that we talked about for weeks or months. I mean, that was already end of January anyway that we reached it. This chart here shows you an ascending support line as well. So the good thing is that this ascending support line is actually going through that target area. And again, that target area is between the 88.7% FIB level and the 78.6% FIB level, between 340 and 624. So that is the area in which, with the highest likelihood, cryptos are turning around, and Kadena could have turned around and already made its low. That is absolutely possible. And you can observe the same behavior with stocks and shares. Just look at the Apple chart from the 1980s, 1990s. You can see that behavior. It is typical for young assets. And then you get an idea where these could be going in a few years or even decades. It has held support, which is good. It's held across or above this support line. I think if you really lose this support line, then you're looking at possibly again this 88.7% FIB level at 340. I only see that when Bitcoin really does a 30-40% sell off. That is obviously something that could happen or at any point. I'm still sort of planning for that, but Kadena certainly has the potential, and we can only talk about that. It has the potential that the low is already in, which doesn't mean it needs to be in, but it means it has the potential that it was already in. I talked about it when we hit the target area, that the low could now be in. And since then, to be honest, we have seen consequently higher highs, not higher lows all the time. And that is what makes me a bit skeptical about this, because we see here pretty much a head and shoulders pattern on the chart with an ascending trend line. So I would remain skeptical at the moment, especially as we have not on a sustainable basis moved above the 200-day moving average, and that's currently at 785. I think things might look a little bit different if you move above that. We had a death cross here, so that is still a little bit bearish, which means that the 50-day moving average has come below the 200-day moving average. And to be honest, what you would really want to see is that the price now starts to move away from this ascending trend line. The fact that we are holding above such an ascending trend line is positive, but we have not yet seen a clear impulse to the upside. Before I take a look at the indicators, I would, in order to really speak about a sustainable breakout, the 200-day moving average would be important at 785. But even more importantly, I think, would be here this huge high from the 9th of February. If you get 19th of February, if you get above that at 1065, and even better, the 61.8% FIB level at 1095, I guess then we can, with a much more confirmation, talk about a sustainable breakout. Bear in mind, by then you already have lost some profits. So that is why my strategy at the moment is dollar cost averaging into these cryptos that have reached their individual target areas. Not all cryptos have done that yet, but Kadena has. And in terms of the price targets, the minimum price target for the next wave, which would be a wave 3, in an ideal case, you talk about at least $45 to $56. Both of these are minimum targets. I would expect it, however, to go higher depending on how long the next bull run is taking. We can certainly say that we are, if the low isn't already in, that we are in the last meters of the correction. The downside potential is much lower to what it was. The downside risk is much lower. Actually, the risk is to the upside now that you missed that opportunity. But again, that is no financial advice. Everybody needs to make their own financial decisions if you want to buy or not. I can only tell you what I'm doing and where I think the price is going to go based on the elite wave counter price action and the indicators. And if we take a look at the indicator, it's not looking that bad. I mean, the RSI is on the daily moving back into the bullish range, but again, it's not confirmed. There's only a little bit of a going into that bullish range above 50 at the moment, which on the other hand means there is still a lot of room for further upside, which is positive. The MACD also looking a little bit bullish. Having here a bullish crossover on the MACD would also generally confirm higher prices to come. That generally there is a little bit of bullishness around this chart, and very importantly the 4-day chart as well, where you can see that actually it is consequently reducing that negative momentum, and you might actually get a bullish crossover on the 4-day chart. And the last time that happened, you did go to new all-time high. It started slow as well, as it does now, but then you moved up very, very strongly. And I could imagine that Kadena definitely can start here at any point. That is the not saying it will, but it has the possibility to start pumping at any point, especially as it's given listed on Binance. I wouldn't overstate this, but it gives it a little bit of an extra boost maybe, but certainly because it did reach the target area. But again, there is no confirmation yet, because we have not yet seen those higher highs and higher lows that you would normally see in an impulse to the upside. But it certainly is, generally from my point of view, an interesting price range still in which Kadena is. It's an interesting project, and from a technical point of view, what can be expected is, even from the current level here, a not quite a 10x, but maybe something between a 6 to 8x. Certainly. That is my view here, and that is not the long-term goal. That is just the medium term, for in the next major wave. That's my view here on Kadena. Hopefully you liked the update. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment, and if you really like the content, then check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.